can't tell you how fun and exciting it is to be aligned with such an iconic brand in the Cincinnati area. It's really a thrill. I have to say I get a lot of satisfaction and fun out of the recipes that I do for Gold Star. And we've done some crazy ones, I have to tell you, but some popular ones too. I do a Gold Star meatloaf that's frosted. It looks like a cupcake. That is frosted with mashed potatoes, and the cherry on top is a slice of hot dog. Adorable. And today I've got to tell you, I'm showing some ideas that you can make Gold Star a gift from the kitchen for your family and friends, because everybody's trying to come up with some cute little something to take to a party, to take to their colleagues, their co-workers, their neighbors. So my inspiration this year are these little wide-mouth half-pint jars. Have you seen these? They're kind of hard to find at the grocery store, I have to tell you, but you can order them on Amazon, or you can find them at the Great Ace and they'll ship them in for free. The wide mouth is important. It's not so much that it's a half pint as the wide mouth, because tonight I've filled them with both individual size Gold Star dips, so you can have your very own, don't have to share. I've also created a sweet and spicy Gold Star popcorn. Some of you tasted some tonight. It's got the corn syrup, the brown sugar, the salt, the cayenne pepper, and just a hint of, I was teasing Charlie, I'm going to call it magic, the Gold Star seasoning packet. Just a bit of this as a background flavor. Again, in an individual serving size. But what I'm going to demonstrate for you tonight is it's Gold Star chili mac and cheese. So I'm doing a classic macaroni and cheese. In fact, it's a variation of the one in my cookbook that we're layering into these little half-pint jars. We're topping it with Gold Star chili, and then our finishing crumb topping, we're not using breadcrumbs, we're using crushed oyster crackers with a little bit of butter. And so all of these can be packaged up and given to your friends and relatives as a holiday gift. So I'm going to jump right in because I know you all want to have some coney dogs, but I'm starting out by melting some butter and adding a little bit of flour. And this is the absolute basic to any white sauce, any good mac and cheese, but I'll let you in on a little secret. This is also the beginning of a cream soup. Or just putting this butter and flour together, you can put this in your fridge and pull out a little knob anytime you want to thicken a stew or a sauce. But I'm just going to cook together the equal parts of flour and butter long enough to get rid of that sort of raw character of the flour. And then in goes the milk. Now I've got to tell you guys a little stage secret. It's 1 2/3 cups of milk, and that's exactly how much is in here. So I'm going to put in my 1 2/3 cup of milk. Now I like to use whole milk, but you could certainly use a skim milk if you wanted to. And I'll just cook this until it thickens a little bit. And as I mentioned, this is where you might add some chicken broth and turn it into a cream soup. But in this case, we're turning it into a nice, rich white sauce for our mac and cheese. Now, I think one of the secret ingredients for a great tasting macaroni and cheese, and ironically it's also the topping to a great coney dog, is yellow mustard. I put quite a bit of yellow mustard into my mac and cheese. And then the other thing that makes for great tasting food in general, I truly say sometimes it's the secret to good food, is a little salt and pepper. I always say season high. I don't mean while high, I mean from above, because that's going to give us some good coverage, even seasoning. And as this thickens up a little bit, there we go, I'm going to go ahead and stir in my cheese. Good, sharp cheddar cheese. Obviously, the flavor of the cheese that you put into it is going to affect the final product. And you just want to stir this up until the cheese is melted. Now, I'm making these tonight into the little half-pint individual jars, but you could just as easily put this into a baking pan, a 9x13, and turn this into a family dinner. Be a very comforting, good cold night meal. The kids will love it. And then here's my other little secret ingredient, hot sauce. Just a little kick. I'm using the regular classic hot sauce, but if you like spicy, you could use the very hot sauce. And then once these are melted, in goes our cooked macaroni noodles. Wow, you guys are really well behaved. I was expecting somehow a rowdy crowd. So I'm stirring in the macaroni, and oh gosh, right now I'd be perfectly happy to eat this.
Can you use any kind of pasta?
Any kind of pasta, a tubular is a good one, or something like a fusilli. I wouldn't use spaghetti in this case. I'd save that for the parlor. And now what I'm going to do is just measure in about a half of a cup of the cooked mac and cheese into my little jar. Now, sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, you don't want to put that in the oven, it could shatter. Think about what these canning jars do. You put them in water baths and boil them. They're absolutely heat safe. And then I'm going to top with a little bit of our Gold Star chili. A little bit of diced onion. A little more cheese, because after all, everything's better with just a little more cheese. And then some of our oyster cracker topping. So it's that easy. It goes together. You can make this recipe, makes 8 to 9 of these jars. You pop them in the oven. Then once they're cool, go ahead and put the lid on. You can put them in the fridge. And just if you take them to the office one day and give everybody lunch in their own little jar, just include a tag that says to reheat in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. And they've got a nice bubbly chili mac and cheese. Any questions?